Minecraft is a game we all know, down to its barest bones. We're familiar with the usual survival quirks and how it caters to a more primitive aspect. In most cases, we can experience different time periods and dimensions if we try hard enough. However, I find it almost impossible to step into what I love most, sci-fi. Ooh, could you imagine the mysterious air of the unknown always looming around your creations and an opportunity to almost live in one of those ideally classic sci-fi fantasy worlds? There's something about those environments that keep you on edge, and to me personally, that is the ultimate survival experience, constantly dealing with the unknown and learning to adapt to what is thrown at you. And not to mention the ability to see utility-themed builds not with scorn, but with acceptance. After all, you're in a hostile world, and you need everything to survive. But unfortunately, it's me. I'm not that formal, and as much as I'd love taking an acid bath on an alien planet, we're stuck with resource packs and mods to fulfill this sci-fi fantasy. I mean, seriously, I want this thing to chase after me, I want it to eat me, but it's just a pig. It's nothing more. It's just a resource pack, so this is more for creative and doing some building, which we're going to be doing today, just to get some immersion into the sci-fi universe. Unfortunately, it's not survival, or I'd be having a lot of fun right now. But all is well because building is fun too. We're going to be using the Odyssey resource pack with Apex shaders. I'm going to have some minor modifications to the resource pack because I don't like this bar. It's too bright. So I'm going to use my dark GUI from my personal resource pack. It's just going to be much smoother getting to everything. It looks nicer and sleeker. And man, isn't this going to be a lot of fun? Tell you what, let's divide some time and shuffle through some of the blocks the Odyssey has to offer to get a general sense of what the pack is all about. I would say I immediately love spacesuits. I am wearing a spacesuit at the moment. I look ultra beautiful in it. It's a nice thick compression layer to protect me from all of the gases in the environment. You gotta really immerse yourself. I've noticed a lot of the default Minecraft textures do not correlate with Odyssey textures. So this is chiseled sandstone, doesn't look anything like chiseled sandstone. Got other blocks like glass that connect. You notice a lot of these textures will connect, and it's actually not a bad thing, but it would help to break up the pattern a bit by doing some variation in your builds. You've got nice slabs to work with. Would make a great floor or some kind of laboratory floor. Just trying out different things. What kind of slab is that? It's prismarine, so it doesn't look anything like prismarine. Got some natural blocks to work with, like polished diorite, so you could do your own environments, which is super cool. What's this one? It's cut sandstone, so this is close to the other sandstone. It's just got different patterns on it. So maybe they do correlate within this pack, but not so much with its default texture. As for the worlds, we are using Jungle's Edge Buffet modes. According to Odyssey's snippet on Planet Minecraft, this particular biome is considered mutant and will work well for what we want to build. From my personal perspective, the best locations to build are places where the world separates one allotted space with the rest of the world. For example, we've got this hillside. We cannot see really anything past it. It's kind of like an island. It's just an allotted space for us to build in. And I think I'm going to build here. Could start out with some foundation work. If I wanted to travel to a hostile planet, the first thing I'd want to establish is a secure perimeter. This prevents apex predator breaching and will assist in keeping the specimen under observation contained. Also notes keeping human contamination to a minimum. Pollution of alien world is unacceptable. And of course, materials supplied by the Department of Defense would be a preferable choice. High grade steel and observation mesh to monitor anything outside of the perimeter. A strong entry point would be recommended. Again, for an unidentified life attempting to breach. This precaution would also assist in bottlenecking any space pirate breaches. Soldiers will only be recruited from the WayStone SMP. Well, because they're crazy. A large amount of our funding will be allocated to the district laboratory in efforts to collect and examine local specimens, providing a suitable environment for organisms to be monitored ethically. After you make your way through the lobby and sterilization chamber, there will be observation chambers and adequate domestic requirements for on-site employees. For any serious data, an office will be provided. Please stop me, I'm a space nerd. I could keep going with that montage all day. But I feel like I should step back and show you some of the progress that we have made just in the montage. That way you get a feel of what I've been working on in real time, because there's a lot of details I will miss in those clips. So I love this armor set. This makes the perfect combat soldier, just guarding my gate. Nice of him. We've got an office for him if he needs to come inside, if he gets too hot or he needs something to drink. And obviously it controls the gate from that point. And there is no other breach going into my base area. I didn't want to do that. If he's trapped out here, if there's hostiles, then he's just going to have to handle it. But this has custom sounds to it. This door does. Ooh, that's fancy. I have the same thing under these pressure plates, the doors, to give me the sound effect in the sterilization chamber. Ah, I love that. That is so cool. It's so neat. So this place right now looks so utility. I'm trying to do a little bit of building around the edges. I've done some crates and stuff just to fill in the area. I've got to do a lot more of that. This tree looks good. I wanted to boost staff morale by including maybe some of the environment trees for viewing purposes. Ooh, a garden too. I forgot I even introduced that one. Looks nice. No access point, just, you know, nice little garden. And the laboratory is probably my favorite build so far. I put a lot of work into this, just detailing the inside, and I think that's the most important part about some of these space builds, is you want it to look real. You know, you want to feel immersed. Got some tidbits. These look really cool. These are actually anvils. I've got a fence post there, and it makes for a nice computer monitor, or like just a whole computing mechanism. I think there's buttons on the top. Yeah, that's what I've been using it for. Hi, what are you doing back there? You just jumping around, not doing your job. I see you like playing with that fan. So you walk in here, observation chambers with multiple mobs. That's from the resource pack. There's a lot of mobs that weren't included, so some of the textures are missing on those. But this is a cow. This is a sheep, and this is an ocelot. The ocelots look really cool. It just looks like a big spiky rat or something. Ah, this is fresh, man. I would live in this laboratory. A nice cover zone, grab you a book, sit down, observe a little bit, do some studying on the area. An office for the serious people who want to do the data research. I think it's coming together, guys. Just gotta continue working on it. And this is where things begin speeding up. I have spent a significant amount of time working on the base area. It's a nice starter zone for people that just landed on an alien planet. And I kind of went in a clockwise fashion around the base, adding tidbits. I've even got some other stuff in the distance that we'll take a look at in just a moment. But beginning off, we're going to start with the residential area, because all the scientists need a place to live. They're going to be doing research. Their own personal apartments, not very big, about the size of a dorm room, but everything is personalized to their needs. So each one of these will have a fan. That's just a painting, which is very convenient for build styles that are really close together. So good job on that, Odyssey. Very nice job. You know, we've got different ones, and we could probably float above just to kind of get an idea of what these personalized zones look like. So one of these guys is actually a botanist, I guess you could say. He's got like a nice little tree there. He's been working with vegetation. Oh, this guy's got a tree as well. He likes the blowing breeze as he is like reading some books. That's a good way to spend your evening. I love reading books myself, so that would probably be my apartment. And I had built this garbage disposal area that utilizes lasers to pulverize all junk that is thrown into here. Got some nice lasers. Nothing too fancy. I used barrier blocks and ladders to give it this caged effect, which I think looks really nice. A solar panel just to power some stuff in the vicinity. And of course, you need a source of food. Now, I didn't particularly want to use alien food. That's the only thing the pack had to offer. I was going to actually just do some default carrots, potatoes, wheat, and all of that, just to give it a more homely vibe. But it turns out we like the alien foods. And they can actually be ate. So that's good. Nice little greenhouse. We've got this battery pack that is our main source of power for this facility. It doesn't really utilize a lot of power since we've got, you know, other things that generate power like this, which is the solar panels, and we've got this lake or this pond that has a water filtration system in there that we utilize for power and drinking water. A landing pad for a spaceship that is currently out on an expedition at the moment. I wanted to make it quite big because, you know, if he established this whole base, I mean, you only want a few trips. It's going to be like a frigate rather than a spaceship, I guess. Something a bit larger. And then over here, we've got a mining zone. I tried to set up this thing, so you have to like go all the way down to gather materials. I did have a pallet. I copied this into my laptop and did like a pallet over here, which I'm going to do before we end off the video. Had some ores and stuff on it. And this is where I guess the chief advisor for the mining operation would be stationed. And of course we found some bones down there. Oddly looks human. I don't know what human bones are doing down there. Hey, we're building a story, and we don't even know what the story is. Here's the water filtration unit. I use a conduit with some prismarine. I thought that worked pretty well for a water filtration system. Looks really cool. Very simple, using a solar panel to power it. And I need to connect some cables going back to base. I think one of my most favorite parts of this build was this, our little rover that we use to transport ourselves around the environment. I don't know how good of a job I done on it, but it looks pretty sweet. Got like a nice entrance with a loading bay, so you can just take stuff and move it. I think you've even got a track up to the mining area. Here is where you would control the vehicle. Not really see because you cannot stand on the stairs. But yeah, a pretty good field to view. You can see the tires. It's a little bit tiry because we don't know what we're going to be handling out there in the alternate terrain. Back here is some mechanical stuff just in case we want to work on the vehicle. And of course, a pit that all garages have so that you can get under it and do some fine tuning. That's kind of cool. That's neat. I thought to use this stuff with shovels. That way I could kind of shovel a pathway up to the mining zone. So it looks like that it makes often trips there. I don't know. I mean, it seems to work. It's kind of cool. By the way, I had jumped on WayStone accidentally with this resource pack, and man, doesn't it convert so well to other builds. That just looks absolutely incredible. Look at that gates using the mesh. That is so nice. And this was completely built in the default textures. It just kind of sprang to life whenever I jumped in here one day. That's insane. Spawn is especially interesting because it's a mushroom biome, and there's all kinds of cool looking colors over there. Even though the mycelium has been converted to grass blocks, it projects a different color and a different environment vibe. I mean, if we were to take off the texture pack, this is what it would look like. Totally different. Wow. But to truly immerse ourselves, I feel like we need to set this to nighttime and do some cinematics to make this place feel like it's alive. Oh man, this video was so much fun to make. I love meddling into sci-fi things, and I can have it in Minecraft. But guys, thank you so much for watching through the whole video, and hope you did enjoy this different kind of thing.